we're getting sort of down to the interesting bit, aren't we? I mean, it's still a few months to go, but since Joe Biden dropped out of the race, there's been a slightly different dynamic going on.
Absolutely. I mean, he dropped out of the race at a time when his momentum was just almost zero, and former President Trump was basically had the anchor for the campaign at that time. And since the president dropped out of the running for the Democratic presidential nomination, it's been almost a whirlwind for Kamala Harris to take on this whole new momentum for the campaign. And now we have a bunch of states, very important swing states, where the polls are starting to turn in her direction.
Yeah.
Ironically, they are all the same distance between the two of them. 50% in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, compared to 46% for Trump. So she definitely has the momentum, and it'll be interesting to see if she'll sustain it, and
yes,
how the former president will sort of try to counter it.
Yeah, and I'm assuming in some of the swing states he's still leading as well, so it's still pretty even, isn't it? At the end of the day, there's not much in it. I'm just going to play you a little bit of a clip from CNN that we've got here. This is JD Vance, who is, of course, the vice presidential nominee with Donald Trump, talking about Kamala Harris.
I believe that Kamala Harris is whatever she says she is, but I believe importantly that President Trump is right that she's a chameleon. She pretends to be one thing in front of one audience. She pretends to be something different in front of another audience. Look, Dana, she's not running a political campaign. She's running a movie. She only speaks to voters behind a teleprompter. Everything is scripted. She doesn't have her policy positions out there. She hasn't answered why she wanted to ban fracking, but now she doesn't. She wanted to fund police, but now she doesn't. She wanted to open the border, but now she doesn't. She should have to answer for why she presents a different set of policies to one audience and a different set of policies to another audience. And I think that's what President Trump is getting at. This is a fundamentally fake person. She's different depending on who she's in front of.
JD Vance there talking on CNN about Kamala Harris. I guess she hasn't really done a big set-piece interview yet. Will we see some debates between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris?
Oh yeah, definitely. They're coming up, I believe, in September. And the former president grabbed onto the idea of doing that, I think because he really has nowhere else to go. I mean, before he was turning down debates left and right when we were during the primary season, and that seemed to work. Nobody made any inroads of the other candidates, but now he's up against a formidable opponent who has the blanket support of the Democratic Party and who has a lot of goodwill going her way. She's still in sort of the honeymoon period. Now, interestingly enough, it'll be interesting to see if the momentum holds, because she technically is within the margin of error in all three states.
Right.
So you could say, in a sense, it's neck and neck. But the point is, it's moving away from Trump. So he readily agreed to the debate as a way of sort of shoring up his position.
Yeah.
And then it'll be, I imagine that'll be one of the most, well, there'll be three of the most watched debates in U.S. history.
I would imagine so. And what about Joe Biden? Because a lot of people said that, you know, Joe, having dropped out of the race because he didn't feel that he was able and capable of running for president for the next 4 years, a lot of people said, well, how is he even capable then of being president for right now? He's admitted over the course of the weekend, I think, in an interview, that he was kind of pushed out by the Democrats. It was Nancy Pelosi and a bunch of other senior Democrats who basically convinced him to drop out, and he wasn't really given a choice.
Yeah, that's true, and a lot of Republicans are sort of making hay with that. The whole idea that Democrats ganged up on the president and, in their view, in a sense, deprived the voters of their choice, meaning President Biden. was the elected president right now. But it was a number of influential Democrats who got on that case, including Nancy Pelosi. And Pelosi is a very formidable, not opponent, but if she's going to get something done, she'll get it done, and she'll get it done very quickly, no matter what.
Right.
So once,
but of course, she was defending Joe Biden up until about a week before that happened. She was very much saying he's not in any way unfit for purpose. He's not unfit for the job. You know, he should continue to do it. We're fighting all the way for Joe, and then suddenly it changed.
Yeah. That's true. But I think she may have recognized her own power in that sense, and she didn't want to make a definitive move until she knew she was ready. So who knows?
Yeah, who knows indeed. Jerry, thanks very much indeed. Meanwhile, we've got some video here of Joe Biden asleep on a beach, which I think we can show you. He was, of course, there he is. The President of the United States, ladies and gentlemen, leader of the free world, spark out on a deck chair. Marvellous, isn't it? Mr. President, there's a problem. Sorry? I don't know what to tell you about that. There's some other stuff of him riding a bike, but I'm not even sure we need to show you that because this is funnier. Oh, he's woken up. There we are. Joe Biden. Well done, sir.